So, what we're here to talk about? We're here to talk about once again AEW. And like all in, this video is also really late. But like I said, we're here. So we're here to talk about AEW All Out from Chicago in the United Center. And this show was kind of surprising in a very good way, really great way. Like coming in, this is the show that is just 1 week shy away after All In, which I still thought it was kind of stupid to begin with to do this show and to have this show be after All In. Their supposedly biggest wrestling, their supposedly biggest event in the company's history. Just do another show on top of it. And like you do all that, and then you come out and found out the news that CM Punk is fired from AEW. I'm going to talk about this in my next video, so strap in, guys, because it's going to be it's gonna be a pile in one. Like, there's so many things to talk about that subject alone. And with the nature of the firing CM Punk, and like wondering how's the crowd going to react to this show, because more likely than not CM Punk will be on this show and will most likely have main evented against Ricky Starks, who was in a strap match, but he was against Bryan Danielson. More on that later. But yeah. And with the nature of how he was fired, how the crowd was going to react, and how much bad press AEW had got that 1 week prior to All Out, of how, like, because after All In, no one was really talking about the show. It was more about what CM Punk did before the show, the backstage drama bullshit again that led him to getting fired. And like, with all this bad press that been handling this company all that past week prior to this is the show that AEW really needed to have some goodwill with its fan base, because they have bad reputation for, it's been quite a long while with the fan, because of the backstage drama and all the politics and all of it involved. They needed to put on a really show that will keep the fans tuning in. And pull out a statement that they don't need a CM Punk to have such a great show. Like they did All Out. And in a lot of ways, I thought All Out was much better. Well, not. I won't say much better, but I think All Out overall was a better show than All In. And I enjoy All In. I talk about it. I thought All In was a very good show, but if I have to give the edge, I have to give the edge to All Out. Like, I had more fun watching this show. It seemed like the crowd really had fun with it, despite their hometown boy not being there. They had a really fun time with the show, it seemed like. And it was definitely fun because this show was great. It had like one, it had like three excellent matches. One of them potentially be match of the year, one of the matches of the year contenders. And you have really good wrestling on one, not really that one stinker of a match. So I have to get the edge to All Out. So yeah, and like I said, it was kind of near possible to kind of build one rebuild since they just come off after All In. But AEW delivered the goods with this show. So we started off with the opener for the ROH World Tag Team Championships. You have MJF and Adam Cole, better than you, baby, against the Dark Order, John Silver and Alice Reynolds. Sorry if I can pronounce it, but the MJF Adam Cole defended the Order static against the Dark Order, and so yeah, I think this match kind of existed just to get the world champion MJF and Adam Cole on the show, since they clearly had no idea what to do with it, so they just talking in this World Tag Team title match against the two guys that really kind of had no business being in this spot. No disrespect to Dark Order, but like they're way out of the league. Their game has been long been past stale at this point. So yeah, but it was entertaining, and the crowd was happy to see MJF go, and the match was decent enough that it has some charm a bit behind. So yeah, so MJF and so yeah, like they did their stuff. MJF and Adam Cole retained the All Out World Tag Team. But the real interesting stuff it happened after the match. So Samoa Joe was to come out for his match. The MJF, by the way, during the All Out World Tag Team tournament, I think he got hurt with his leg. That played a factor during the match, and it kind of played as the doctor were reeling MJF on to the ring, to the stage. Samoa Joe came in and pushes MJF, which is a callback. If not many of you remember this, it's actually a callback to an NXT show back in NXT Brooklyn. I think when Samoa Joe was NXT champion, he was the comeback for his center, and he pushed one of the security guards, who just so happens to be MJF Maxwell, a little young Maxwell, in that locker room. We've been pushed by Samoa Joe. He just shut him off, and he did it again. And after seeing this, he didn't think it was for MJF's best interest, knowing that he was to come out and fight Samoa Joe, but MJF decided not to relent, and he attacked Samoa Joe. And big pop for the audience, because it was some crazy shit. They had a pull apart brawl in there, and man, it was exciting. And you gotta think we were pretty much headed for MJF Samoa Joe World Title match on an episode, which I think is gonna be Dynamite Grand Slam, which is MJF's hometown. So yeah, that was great. This was a great, tremendous stuff, which led to Samoa Joe defending the All Out television title against Shane Taylor. And then now, I'm gonna be honest, then I watched the match for its entirety, but for what I heard, was okay. It had no reason to be, but it wasn't a bad match, but it was a really short one. and Samoa retained, like we all expected he would, the TV type. So the next match is for the TNT Championship. Luchasaurus defending against WWE. Oh, is it Christian Cassidy? He fucking held that TNT title like it's his precious, like he owns the fucking thing. Heel Christian Cassidy is awesome, man. Like, this is easily the best, some of his best heel work he's ever done in his category. Like, him calling out him, he's a TNT champion. That is some great fucking shit. The match between WWE and Luchasaurus was good. He was really all about Luchasaurus decimated WWE, as it was pretty much kind of a squash match. Like, Luchasaurus tore Darby out into shreds. Like, he got it half busted open. He was throwing Darby out left and right. He was relenting on him, but Darby just continued to fight more and more, not relenting. And yeah, it had some 6 spots where Luchasaurus, I think he had ground and hit him and throw it into a steel steps. Like, it was kind of rinsing seeing Luchasaurus doing the things that he did to Darby Allin and during this match. It was some pretty brutal stuff. The one of many of this show, to be quite frankly. Like, wow. Like, yeah, and they continue on, and Dario, he survived the progression and continues to get involved. And this is so he pick up the scraps and pins Dario to retain the TNT title. And then after when they continue to be on Nick Wayne, who was, I think, Darby's corner and stuff. And then when they continue to be Darby with Steel Shit. And I was thinking, like, where the hell was Sting in all of this? He just teamed with Darby out in the prior week to this. The crowd had to be so ready on him, but he never showed up. Like, what did that guy did during all this? Like, that's the real question. Like, yeah, like, what the hell? Yeah, like, that's fucking strange. Next match, you have Miro vs. the Powerhouse Hobbs, and this was Big Me slapping me in the most epic fashion in matchup. Like, I love this match. Like, it took the time to get going, and when they did, they had me and the rest of the crowd in that attendance. They were into that match almost the entire thing. Like you had the crowd chanting "Holy Meat." Like, they were chanting all kinds of things, but in relation to me, because this was just two big men slapping me, and this was tremendous stuff. Like, yeah, like they did some impressive stuff, and I think, like, this is one of the pluses of this being a week after to this, like, to do a show as soon after as All In, because, like, while most of the guys that went All In took a back seat for this, like, you have Powerhouse Hobbs showing, like, had a chance to impress the audience, and Miro having some resurgence of television time that he's been sorely missing because he's almost never on TV, but now he has recollection stuff. This is one of the process, also recollection. It showcased the potential of both these big men. And this feud really showed to really show us what these two men can do. And this was just two big men doing pinballs at each other, and it was great. It was a really great house fight, and yeah, like this was great. Had nothing more to say, and Miro won, but then after the match, Powerhouse Hobbs continued attacking Mabel, leading to CJ Perry. Yes, the former AKA Lana from WWE, the and the wife of the of like, is it really husband or wife? Like, I kind of get almost confused, but I'm going to say as Miro's wife, CJ Perry, to make it easy. So Miro's wife, CJ Perry, can say she throws a steel chain to the back of Powerhouse Hobbs, and Powerhouse Hobbs thinking that was a mistake. And then Miro comes, I think he throws down to Hobbs, and Perry was wanted to have some wanted to have Miro embrace each other in the ring, but Miro will not let it happen. She's like, I don't like what the hell is you like saying something like that. And yeah, that was it. And if you know how the last few months of Rusev's WWE career went, you will know that him acting like that kind of made sense in a lot of ways through how Toronto treated him with that stupid Bobby Lashley angle with Lashley and Rusev and Lana. That was just ugh. And so if you watch that, then you will know Miro acting the way he did makes completely all the sense. So yeah. So I look for what they could. So I look for what happens in this story between CJ Perry and Miro. So, yeah. So the TBS Championship, you had Chris Statlander defending against Ruby. So did not watch it again also, but this was fine. And it pretty much kind of only existed to pretty much continue the dissension in the range between the Outcasts, as the prior week at All In, Soraya hit the spray on Toni Storm, her teammate, to win the AEW Women's World title, and out comes Toni Storm again, unintentionally costing Ruby Soho the match, and Chris Statlander was able to take advantage and pick up the win and retain the TBS Championship. So yeah, they seem to continue the extension of the breakup. So yeah, so I did not watch the match, but from what I heard from it, it was fine. So yeah, and then the strap match. Ricky Starks versus Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon. And once I heard the final countdown again, I think we all knew we were in for some really great shit. And it did. Like, wow. There's a lot to unpack it, because this was supposed to be the match where Ricky Starks was supposed to go up against CM Punk as a month prior, on an episode of Collision a few weeks prior, CM Punk retained the Real World Championship against Ricky Starks. They had the special referee being Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And Punk retained in kind of a fluky fashion that pissed Ricky Starks to know that he attacked Ricky Starks. Ricky Steamboat. There goes with the two Rickies. And Ricky Starks goes hammer to town to Ricky Steamboat with a strap, and he did that once to CM Punk, so he got suspended, and but his suspension was up to 28, which was supposed to be 30 because the 30-day he will have to miss All Out, so he bumped up so to 28. And during that suspension he had the license of managing people, which was I think Big Bill W. Morrissey. That was his name. So that happened, and then when it was come time to Ricky starts to have a match, as you all know, CM Punk got fired, so they had to reschedule, they had to revamp, they had to readjust everything. So Ricky Stark came in the night before on Collision. He looked like he wanted to have a match with Ricky Steamboat when he had in that contract that said Ricky Stark versus the Dragon and All Out. But Ricky Steamboat clarified that it wasn't him, the Dragon, that he was facing in a strap match at All Out against Ricky Stark. The Dragon was the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. And there you go, that's the match. And wow, like, could you like tell me that anything that CM Punk and Ricky Starks would have done would have been better than this and be much more brutal and violent as what we saw here with Ricky and Danielson? Like, I sort of like Punk still, but like, you can't tell me his story with Ricky Starks would have been better than the one that Danielson had with Ricky Starks. Like, holy shit, like, and let's be honest, like, I don't think Danielson is clearly fully recovered because, like, you know how, because was it reported many months ago, like, wasn't the expectation that with the shoulder surgery that he had during the match, that he suffered during the match against Okada Forbidden Door, that he was going to be until like early next year, and he came back in like almost 3 months. And yeah, like, so with that being said, he got AEW out of a really bad predicament, came back, and easily stole the fucking show with Ricky Starks. And it's quite fitting after the passing of Winter Return, aka Bray Wyatt, with Bryan Danielson already had a strap match with them at the Royal Rumble 2020. He had that match. It was a great match. And then Bryan had to come out to this match. And he pretty much outdid his previous strap match. And man, these boys went to town with one another. Like, Like almost again, like they took the time with the strap, but yeah, like these two really beat the ever loving shit out of each other. Like, man, this was so fucking brutal to this, but it was awesome. And like, I'm glad that they still give Ricky Stars the shine light out of this. And I think this was the match to really make, like, this was Brian Danielson's matches directly to Ricky Stars during the match. Like, if you gotta earn what it really takes to be a wrestler in AEW, you really have to fucking prove to me and show me why. And Ricky pretty much passed the test. Like, yeah, like, and this these two went the walls at each other with the constant strapping to both of the faces. To I honestly can say was I kind of was getting a little bit uncomfortable seeing. It was kind of tough, like both of them beating the shit with the straps to their faces, one after another of both of each other. Like these two did not fucking hold back on each other, and yeah, this was the best and most brutal strap match I ever seen. This I ever seen. You even had so cool involvement with Ricky Steamboat beating Big Bill, who was managed by Ricky Story the week prior to this. And Ricky did some stuff that I didn't thought he would do. And he actually got a little bit physical with Big Bill, and that was awesome stuff. And yeah, like Ricky and Brian continued to maul each other until finally with Brian Danger who had this gushing blood on his face. And he was strapping the level up with the strap on to the neck of Ricky, so hanging almost hanging like like strangle him with that strap to the hang on the neck on Ricky until Ricky had no choice but to pass out, and Brian Danielson wins to a fucking brutal strap match. Like, I think this match will be the match that elevates Ricky Starks to a whole nother level in AEW. Like, he has some really good matches in the past with guys like Jericho, Jay White, this year alone. He has some really good matches that he shine on his own. But this, like, he really got the ability to like really fully shine his own and to take another side that we quite haven't seen, more the brutal side of Ricky Star, and he did not hold back. And at this point, I can't say much things about, like, I can't say really enough things to praise Brian Danielson because I think we all kind of accustomed of what the wrestler he is. Like, he's, in terms of a ring, story, psychology, has to be in a conversation to be in. Like, he's the man. And he fucking proved this match. He really made the tougher side out of Ricky stuff that we haven't seen out of Ricky. And he was rancing and mauling Brian Danielson. Like, this was for me match of the night, and fucking, and one of the matches of the year contenders for me. That strap match, Brian Danielson and Ricky Starks, was epic all around. So yeah. Next match is a little daddy match. You got the Blackpool Combat Club, but in Claudio Castagnoli and Rhea Yuta against Eddie Kingston and Shibata Katsuyori, I think. That if I pronounce it right, Katsuji Shibata. This was a decent match. This was okay. I think this for me it was either the TBS title match or this that was like the weakest match of the night, and yeah, like I don't watch Ring of Honor that much, so I don't know too much of the story, but it was cool to see anything with somebody, the visual of it. It seems to be cool, and but this one was really just to advance the story of Claudio and Eddie Kingston, which I also presume will culminate in a real vulnerable title match between Claudio Castagnoli against Eddie Kingston in Zone of New York and Dynamite Glansland. I think that's pretty much the direction that it's in. So yeah, and this was an alright match that the heels pick up the win, Claudio and Wheeler Yuta for the win here. So yeah, I didn't watch half the match, but for what I saw, it was alright. It was okay for it was there. And yeah. So the next match is Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita. Takeshita with Don Callis in his goal. And this is one of the matches I was looking forward to the most, and it all exceeded expectations. Like, this was another really excellent match. Yes, and this story, great story in the ring, and both men look really great. The crowd was into it. You don't need me to praise Kenny Omega, as we all know he's still one of the best in the world. And Takeshi's coming really along in the ring, even as a heel, still. And what's kind of really surprising is Takeshi getting the clean victory here. Like, did not see that one coming, but good on AEW for like sticking the lane and probably realizing that Takeshita will probably benefit a way more than Kenny would at this point, because we all know Kenny, he's up there. He's still at the upper echelon, and when it comes to all of the West, like, he's still there. This is Takeshita's moment to like really ascend, as he's on a methodically wise, and the people are out there going like they really love to hate him, like, and being aligned with Don Kaya helps a lot, because a lot of people hate that MF for Don. So they are a great pairing, and I hope they continue to make the most out of the cast on the person they've been heading toward to with excuse me. Kind of all over the place, but I hope AEW stays dealing with this push with Takeshita, because he could be a really big deal in a few months if they just continue to get big wins over established names like that. So yeah, this was a really great match, and I think the right guy won. So yeah. So we had the 8-man tag team match. You have FDR and the Young Bucks against Bullet Club Bullet Club Gold. I always pronounce it, but Bullet Club Gold with J.Y. Jules Robinson and the Gun Club. This was a really good fun match, and that was a little longer. I would have probably shaved like minutes, like a good 6 minutes off of it because I thought it was at the end it seemed like it was kind of draggy a bit for me, but it was all around all good. So yeah, like and yeah, so but for the work that they for all the work those 8 men did in the ring, it was a really fun match. And with Bullet Club winning here, I don't know what they can really go with this because we already seen FDR and the Boss the reply on, and we saw FDR wrestle Bullet Club go on few months ago at the Collision. So that great 2 out of 3 falls match at Collision for a couple of reasons, for like 2 months prior to this. That was some really good stuff. So yeah, I don't know what they can really go with it, but this was still a pretty solid match. So yeah, that's really all I can say. And yeah, I kind of surprised Chicago did not take a little other shit on the job was as bad as I thought they were. They were bullying. They were bullying the Jumbo, but not as viciously as I thought it would come in. Especially knowing that what is the nature between the animosity for the Elite and CM Punk. So yeah. So was all solid 8 minutes. And then we on to the main event for the AEW International Championship. Orange Cassidy on his 360-day reign defending against Jon Moxley. So they may event this show with this, and more than anything else, I think this was a statement that that Tony Khan pretty much had to call upon once again, as he started many times in the past with this guy Jon Moxley to main event a pay-per-view show, and he had to call upon Orange Cassidy, which this was the first time he really got to be in a main event match at an AEW pay-per-view on a show like this. Like I said in earlier, like this was supposed to be CM Punk's show to main event as it was in his hometown Chicago, but he got fired, and you get this. And on paper, with how the card was like rushed, this really felt like the biggest thing on this show, as it had an ongoing story that was led to All In, the Sting and Stampede, and it led to this. It led to this for this to be the main event, and Orange Cassidy's promo, I think, on the Dynamite before this show really gave this match a big match feel that it kind of had to for a match that they truly called upon for both guys to main event. And this was always Cassidy's chance to really like shine. Like, I'm no Orange Cassidy fan, Like, it's not, this gimmick isn't much for me, but AEW fan clearly loves the guy, and you have to give him some flair with how his title one has been booked. He's probably been one of the most protected guys in the entire company. So when this match happened, like I said, it had that big fight feel that most AEW matches, main events on pay-per-view usually have. And this was another great match. Like, this really told an awesome and brutal story so in there for. And ironically, there was some blood. And it ain't coming from John Moxley this time. Oh no no no. It came from Orange Cassidy, who I think kind of benefited from that since he really got some almost character development. Like for someone whose gimmick is he doesn't care about much things, and you can tell he really care about this man, and it really show like him refusing to die, kick out of multiple Death Star drivers for John Moxley, just refusing to die. But in the end, with a little fight that he had with blood dripping down his face, he just said Moxley to come in, and Moxley just tear him down again, and like Moxley really worked out the dominant match, and Cassidy, many times nearly looked like he was about to overcome and win this match. He just couldn't, and Moxley hits with a big ass Death Star drive. Like he landed really, he got that position really high, and landed on top of Cassidy's hand for the 1, 2, 3, and John Moxley wins the International Championship. He has some health carried by his Fashion Bible Comeback Club. And after Moxley's music stopped playing and the crowd gives really a standing ovation to Orange Cassidy as the show fades to black. And yeah, like this was pretty much a statement, man, and it really showed like you can put Orange Cassidy, like now you can put Orange Cassidy in a world title match or in a main event match at any AEW random pay-per-view, and he's going to deliver come hell or high water. Like he really delivered with one of the top guys in the company, John Moxley, who AEW, like I said, has come upon many times. Whenever pretty much CM Punk went down, when had an injury, had a fit backstage, they called upon John Moxley to pick up the scraps and headline this show, and these guys deliver a really great main event match to close out All Out. That was pretty much a pretty great show. That, like I said, it was better than All in some areas. Like, yeah, like I said, All In, it was a solid, good show. It was a very good show that non-matches were really like this instant classic. They had that match that you were gonna put on match of the year. They just didn't quite have that. All Out really had that. It had 3 excellent matches, with one of them potentially be match of the year contender with a strap match of Danielson and Ricky Starks. And yeah, and like I said earlier, with how bad press AEW was getting from the backstage run with CM Punk and Jack Perry, this is the show that they needed to earn back some goodwill with the fans and to make sure they continue to watch their product. And yeah, this was pretty much a borderline really great wrestling show. So yeah, so that is for my All Out review. Like this video if you have it. Subscribe over there. Tell me what you thought about All Out in the comment section below. As always, I'm Jason Mainius, and I approve this message.